Buster Davis comes in as an extra receiver for the San Diego Chargers. 3rd and goal from the 10. Across the middle, Tomlinson trying to weave his way in, and they say he is short. Oh, what a call coming up. Not even a half-yard away. Vincent Fuller with the last hit. LT was so close, bobbing and weaving, he could smell it.
Boy, tremendous job by Tomlinson of just creasing the defenders. And Jim, let's see how it is close. I believe the San Diego Chargers will go for it.
Of course, you have only one timeout left. Do you think there's any consideration here of a challenge? You have just the one timeout, which you would lose if you...
Well, Norv has the red flag with him, Norv Turner, and they're looking at replays and they're waiting. And I think what they're going to do, they'll probably call a timeout.
Well, if you're going to call a timeout, you can't challenge because you have no timeouts left. So you either have to call the challenge flag. Yep, you got to. At that point now, you've waited so long because the play clock's running out. You've got to go ahead and challenge it, or you just go ahead and back them up 5 yards and kick the field goal.
San Diego is challenging the ruling on the field that the ball was short of the goal line.
I'll tell you, after looking at the replay, I think that this is so close. It's closer than the spot. I will say that. What point is he down? At elbow?
He is down just short, just where they marked it.
What do I control? I don't control the bumps and the bruises, the crowd, or who covers me. I don't control the bounces, the shootout order, or for that matter, what happens outside the rink. There are a lot of things in life I don't control. But then again, there are some things that I do.
In the soggiest Super Bowl ever, the Indianapolis Colts and the Chicago Bears faced off on a wet and wild Sunday in Miami, Florida. The Bears got on the fast track first when rookie Devin Hester returned the opening kickoff 92 yards for a touchdown. The Colts kept pace after quarterback Peyton Manning spotted a wide-open Reggie Wayne for a 47-yard score. The Bears responded and took a 14-6 lead on a short touchdown pass to Muhsin Muhammad. But from that point on, it was all Indianapolis. Colts running backs combined for almost 200 yards rushing, and the defense forced 5 turnovers. In the fourth quarter, when Kelvin Hayden returned an interception 56 yards for a touchdown, it was over. The Colts became Super Bowl champions by a score of 29-17.
You're back, and it really does look like they've spotted it right on. Short.
The ruling on the field stands as called. It's 4th down, and San Diego is charged with their final timeout.
So they're out of timeouts, as you heard Ed Hockley, and now you face the decision of the season. You kick it and go up 7, or do you go ahead and try to...
Oh, well, we already know the decision because we can tell they're going to go for it. I think it's an excellent decision by Norv Turner, and maybe one of the reasons why you challenge too, Jim. You challenge, you're hoping it's a touchdown, but also it gives you extra time to think about the play you want to run. And I think after a few replays, Norv Turner's known for quite a while that it was going to be a 4th down decision.
Shane Olivier coming in for reinforcement for that offensive line. They actually, before they challenged, they did have the field goal unit kind of running halfway out there. Now they bring in yet another offensive lineman, Corey Withrow. So San Diego out of timeouts. Alas, no more challenges either. And here you go. Tennessee held to only a pair of field goals. This would be perhaps the clincher. They're going with Tomlinson. Who else? Up and over. No. We got a signal for a touchdown. If he crossed the plane, it wasn't by much.
The initial surge, they stopped it. What a jump by LaDainian Tomlinson, but the defense is ready for it. But they do not stop him completely. Oh my gosh, look at that. And now he's not down, he reaches out,
well,
football crosses the line.
That's the one that got it. I think the first hit up high, I wasn't convinced.
Jeff Fisher is challenging the play. He's going to say forward progress. Progress, it was stopped.
Tennessee is challenging the ruling on the field of touchdown.
Well, there was some hang time here for LT.
Well, Jeff Fisher's going to challenge.
Tulloch with the hit.
Really good shot and very clear.
I think that they gave him the touchdown on the second effort.
Yes, absolutely.
He was airborne, but it looked like he was just a fraction short. Looked like he was denied. Now the question is, was he whistled dead after that first hit? Let's see if we can hear the whistle. And the whistle was after the second effort.
You know, Jimmy, that Jeff Fisher throws the flag. He just wants to make sure, or he's challenging the fact that did that football break the plane of the goal line?
Well, that was the pivotal replay, that last one. They hear the whistle, and the fact that the reach across was first, the whistle was after.
The ball broke the plane of the goal line only on the second effort. It's a touchdown. There's a timeout charge for Tennessee. That's their first.
Every yard's been hard to find for LT, but when he needed it, he got the most critical yard of all. Kading out there for the extra point. They had blank Tennessee in the second half, 17-0. 17-6 is the score, and the second effort does it for the Chargers.
The hard-hitting action of American football continues on NASN with the Wild Card playoff round. The march to Super Bowl 42 begins right here, and NASN has full live coverage of the NFL playoffs. Live NFL Wild Card playoffs later today. Coverage begins with NFL Countdown on NASN.
Greetings are different. The need to feel welcome is the same. You don't just stay here, you belong.
Hey there, Horners. Tony Reale here, floating an invitation your way to go around the horn weekdays right here on NASN, Europe's leading channel for North American sports. Feast your eyes on my band, the Merry Journalists.
Cheerio, blokes.
Who contemplate, manipulate, debate the latest sports news from around the world. So, if you're a sports nutter, a novice, or just sleepless in Slough, you're sure to enjoy the banter. Don't miss Around the Horn right here on NASN. Horn!
Cheerio.
Tonight on CBS 60 Minutes, Roger Clemens with Mike Wallace and new episodes of The Amazing Race. Cold Case and Shark on America's most watched network. Well, San Diego came out of the second half, received the kick, drove down the field. They went for the field goal. It was a long drive, put points on the board. But when the rhythm, you've talked about it, it's been here in this third and fourth quarter.
The offensive line, that's been the difference in the second half. San Diego's.
Henry goes wide to try to find an opening, just barely across the 20. Big play in that drive was the long throw to Chris Chambers.
Yeah, it was third down. San Diego kept two backs in to block. Look at the defense down the field. The safety, Michael Griffin, comes out of the middle, and that allows the wide receiver to be wide open. That's Chris Chambers. And Phillip Rivers spots him. Look at that jump.
But that
Tulloch with the second effort.
132nd career touchdown, and perhaps his biggest, as Young tosses it out of bounds in the area of Davis.
Watching him jump, LaDainian Tomlinson, that we were talking about in the commercial. Who have you seen that could jump like that in those situations? Two guys come to your mind. Walter Payton and the other one, Marcus Allen. Two of the best there ever was, jumping over the pile near the goal line.
Looked a lot like both of them right there. Both the men you mentioned, heroes of LaDainian. Second down and 10. Marcus, of course, is San Diego native. Here they come after Young, who is taken down for a sack and a loss of 4. Sean Merriman and Sean Phillips.
Yeah, but it looked like Luis Castillo, number 93, gets in there. No, it's Sean Phillips first. Coming around from the outside. But the pressure filling the lanes in this defensive line. Of course, they're good pass rushers, but they're not spying and they're not too worried about Vince Young getting out because they have good speed to run him down.
3rd and 14. Again, they're coming in quickly. Young has nowhere to go. And another sack. Castillo and Phillips this time. And Giles Tucker, the first to apply pressure.
You said it, Jim. It's just total collapse. Obvious passing situation. The crowd is on your side. Vince Young has to step up and nowhere to go.
So 3 and out. And Hendrick. Fair catch. Made by Sproles. Coming up, the Subway post-game show, time permitting. JB, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer, and Coach Cower with the wrap-up of the wild card playoffs. It's coming up, again, time permitting, on the Subway post-game show.
We talk about these games. We talk about LaDainian Tomlinson, all the stars and everything. And when you look at it, the first half, the Tennessee Titans offensive line, they won. And the second half, it's been the San Diego Chargers offensive line.
These two franchises so connected in history. Two original AFL teams that met in the first 2 AFL championship games. The Houston Oilers, now the Titans, and the Los Angeles Chargers. Both won by Houston. And that's Tomlinson taken down by Albert Hainsworth for no gain. 60 and 61. They met in the first 2. George Blanda quarterbacking the Houston Oilers. to titles. They're at Jeppesen Stadium on the University of Houston campus. Winning the second go-around 10-3.
Norv Turner, all the work he put in all year long. And he talked to us about it many times, trying so hard to get another way to win football games on offense. And it was pain because they suffered many times. And everybody had doubts. I did too. I said, it's not going to work.
And Tomlinson breaks one and stays in bounds. He falls before he hits the sideline mark to keep the clock moving and gains 12.
But think about it, Jim. You try to stop Antonio Gates in the passing game, then you stop this guy running the football. Who were the Chargers going to? Well, today, Chris Chambers, what an addition, and Vincent Jackson, two guys that have made a lot of big catches. They got it going, and now LaDainian Tomlinson has helped finishing it off.
Look at Chambers finishing off that block, holding on to that block. Chambers and Jackson both over 100 yards. You mentioned those two. Remember, they've scored all their points since Gates went out. With the toe injury, Michael Turner replaces LT, gets the carry. Finds the hole and has another first after 11.
Says a lot about these Chargers. Boy, I've watched them do this quite a bit this year, where they just struggle all first half, and then they find a way to get it going. It's the play calling. It's, of course, they got a high number of really good players. And what did Norv Turner tell us, Jim? The Baltimore Ravens that changed our season around. We couldn't run it. We came out in the second half. Phillip Rivers did it throwing the football, and we just told everybody that was our signal. We can win more than one way.
You're talking about how early in the season it wasn't working, and how the players kind of naturally went back to, as they give Turner another carry, to what was like a security blanket for them. And he said, I kept trying to stress the fact we're trying to broaden this, widen out the options. And they've won 6 in a row coming into this one, and certainly the addition of Chambers made those options even a little bit more diverse. Again, 60 Minutes is coming up next with that exclusive interview with Roger Clemens Wallace at the interview. You'll see it next, except for those of you on the West Coast, you'll get it at your normal time. We're inside now of 5 minutes and a second down and 10 for the Chargers. Tennessee has 2 timeouts to play with. And Turner gets the corner. There is a flag. They threw it right at Vincent Jackson's feet.
Holding. Offense number 83. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
You know, one of the subplots on the story here, too, not to be minimized at all, is how the Chargers became such a part of the community at a time when there were desperate times around here with the fires in the middle of the season, and the team went over to Arizona to practice for 3 or 4 days. It bonded them as a team. Then they came back. There were 20,000 evacuees right here at Qualcomm Stadium at one time. Then they came back and got very active in the community. Sean Merriman built the first house after a fire. You know, LT's home came very perilously close to being one of the homes lost to the fire. This was the first game back.
Fireman's hat on.
Yep.
That's right.
And how they became, you know, an escape, a form of escapism for this community, suffering through so much. How it really challenged them to play even harder. As Turner is again held to a short game, maybe a yard.
Well, I think that, Jim, and you said it right, it kind of brought the team together. A community problem, and the fact that they went away, spent a lot of time with each other, and it bonded them, and it's been kind of not a rallying cry, but like you said, it brought them together, and it's made them play better. There's no question.
Tennessee,
or it's helped them play better.
Yep, I agree. Tennessee now has taken a second timeout, trying to get a postseason win for the first time since that AFC title game win at Pittsburgh. This is their last playoff victory. Stan Humphries had 2 second-half touchdown passes. And the Steelers failed here on 4th and goal, and the Chargers went on to the Super Bowl, where they met up with Steve Young and the 49ers. Young put up 6 touchdown passes in that one, but it's been 4,739 days since they last tasted a playoff victory in San Diego. Third and 16. Turner gets past Bullock, and he's down at the 36. First they said he had stayed in bounds. No, he did stay in bounds, and they forces Tennessee now to use its last timeout.
Well, Jim, we were talking about who else can get it done for the San Diego Chargers. Vincent Jackson, one of the guys we talk about, Chris Chambers, wide open. And I think it's, of course, we don't know the status of Antonio Gates, but going into next week's game, the Chargers, it has to help their confidence knowing that maybe one of their stars, if he's not clicking, they still can find ways to get it done. Look at that, 11 receptions, well over 200 yards. And Jeff Fisher said when he watched the tapes, since they played the San Diego Chargers 4 weeks ago, he goes, what a difference. Chris Chambers, you can see he's getting used to the offense and the plays he's making.
Cyphers angles this one. Oh, look at this, another beauty by Cyphers. Out of bounds at the 5. It's 31 yards. When you look at it, doesn't sound like much, but it's more than they could have asked for. It's exactly what he had hoped to do. Downs it, backs him up to the 5. Again, coming up, the Subway postgame show, time permitting, with JB, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer. Coach Cowher from the studios back in New York, coming up on the Subway postgame show. 3:56 to play and a 17-6 deficit for the Titans.
I think the fact that San Diego, now this game's not over, I'm not going to say that yet, but the way they've come back, and if they do win, how they had to fight for it, and different guys getting involved, it's just going to help them tremendously next week.
Young zips it and has the target, Eric Moulds.
Well, did Eric Moulds go out of bounds?
I think we have conflicting opinions.
Illegally, and then it's an illegal touch coming back. He just run out of bounds without being forced.
Illegal touching by the offense, number 83. The receiver stepped out of bounds, then came back in and touched the pass. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat first down.
That'll be half the distance and wipes out the 13-yard play.
Yeah, on the outside, down at the bottom of the screen, Eric Moulds, 83, just not pushed out, steps out of bounds, gets back in, not allowed to touch the football first if you do that. If he'd have been forced out by the corner, then that would have been a legal catch. But he was not forced out.
So they replay the down from the 3. And another flag, a whistle at dead.
Before the ball was snapped, ball start, offense number 71. Half the distance to the goal, it's still first down.
And they'll split the difference. Again, like you said, the game's not over yet, but talking about San Diego and how much it could help them next week, the way they've come back in this game. Next week for them would be at Indianapolis. They met them already this season. It was a nail-biter, came down to the end. Vinatieri missed a kick in that one, which is a rarity. Chargers beat them. They had that win streak ending performance at Indianapolis. The Chargers in 05 when they beat them there. With a toss for a short gain to Hartsock. So they have hung in there, and not only hung in there, they have really stepped up and played well against the Colts in recent years.
Yeah, they have. Well, they got, like you said, fortunate to win the first one.
This was the one from this season.
Yep, but they, don't forget when they went in there and late in the year, losing track, what, 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and beat the Indianapolis Colts in their place.
It's the 05 season in December.
05.
When Turner broke the one late in the game that iced it. Ended the 13-game win streak. Young picked. Drayton Florence. Flag on the back end of it.
Drayton Florence lost his starting job to Antonio Cromartie and did not pout. Now he's the defensive back that covers the inside receiver, has done very well and got the
After the interception, personal foul, illegal block below the waist by San Diego, number 20. That's a 15-yard penalty enforced from the spot of the foul. San Diego keeps the ball, first down.
Down the middle of the field. Drayton Florence watching Vince Young. He sees him look down the middle, he drifts. Vince Young throws it right to him. And then Marlon McCree, number 20, you saw the block. He went down, but he actually hit the offensive player above the waist. Watch the block. Number 20, does he go below the waist? Let me rephrase that. He didn't make contact, but he was trying. So it was a good penalty.
Well, that defense, which has been cranking out takeaways, particularly late in the year, gets another one. Think how back in the first half, how huge the one was, the forced fumble by Merriman, the recovery by Phillips, as the Titans were threatening to go in and go up 10-0. They keep Tomlinson on the sidelines, running again with Turner. And we remind you again that 60 Minutes and the exclusive Mike Wallace interview with Roger Clemens is coming up right after this game. Except for those of you on the West Coast, you'll get it at your regularly scheduled time. Vince Young, when it comes to postseason action, it's always been about playing those games in Southern California. His first bowl game as a Longhorn was on this field at the Holiday Bowl.
He was glad you brought that one up.
Yeah, it was a mistake, wasn't it? You could tell right away.
Oh, they pinched me.
Yeah, he got pulled in that game. And then, of course, he had the two Rose Bowl.
That kind of made up for it.
Breathtaking performances, beating Michigan, beating USC. And now he makes his postseason debut back here in San Diego. And again, the Titans are out of timeouts.
Just an impressive victory to fight back by San Diego. You look at the Tennessee Titans, terrific year by them. I think when you look at them, they got all the big guys who are going to give the quarterback and the running back, those type of guys that have a chance to get it done, but they need more game breakers. They need some guys to catch it and be able to make big plays with short passes.
They will not have to run the play before the 2-minute warning. We'll be back to Qualcomm Stadium in just a moment to wrap it up here. 2 minutes to go. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
Kick off your new year this January on NASN. We get to the business end of the NFL with the playoffs as the road to Super Bowl 42 in Arizona really opens up. It's the highlight of the college football season as the top contenders fight it out in the BCS. And we head to Atlanta for the 2008 NHL All-Star Game and bring you live coverage of the Young Stars game and every event in the NHL Super Skills Competition. It's an exciting new year here on NASN.
We're playing San Diego. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns, and puked in between. And that's when I knew it.
I felt like I was playing with little kids and I was a grown man, like Superman.
I ran the fastest 40 at the camp, and I was still 15 years old. So that's when I knew I was gonna be pretty good. Oh yeah.
Hi there, folks. I'm Tim McCarver, thanking you for watching my show exclusively here on NASN, Europe's leading channel for North American sports. Join me each week as I conduct in-depth interviews with the biggest stars from the world of sports. Whether you enjoy football, baseball, basketball, hockey, you name it. Check out NASN.com for the latest schedules and guest lists, and we'll see you right here on Chevrolet's Tim McCarver Show on NASN.
Sims. And, well, Tennessee said, let's get to the fourth quarter with this game close, see what happens. And what happened here is the same thing we saw in the third quarter from the Chargers.
Yeah, the Chargers kept it going, and the so-called pressure, whatever you want to say, I think they answered that today in this game where they got dominated early. They hung in there. Fourth quarter, it's tight, and the Chargers are the ones that made all the plays on both sides of the ball.
And flags fly.
Come on in. Hey, come on in. Tell you what, too, Jim, when you watch this, it just shows you, we forgot Phillip Rivers, how he was not even close to being 100% health-wise last year in a playoff game. And we said it earlier, he was excited, feels fresh, as good as he has all year long, and you can see he's still feisty, arguing about everything.
Zone infraction, defense number 92. 5-yard penalty. It's third down.
Yeah, the 5-yard penalty will put him within about a yard of a first. And you know, it's interesting, even though they were 14-2 last year, Phillip made the point that he didn't feel like they were on the uptick going into the postseason last year. They had the bye week, which made them, maybe wasn't even a help for him either. They had late season games that he didn't think they played all that well.
They did not. They did struggle on offense at times late in the year. And then his help, the bye week, made him sit around and wait more. And he admits he felt like his teammates, himself, they all got tight, and they did not react well to it, even though they physically dominated at times the New England Patriots, not able to make the plays when it counted.
And Turner, that will do it with no timeouts on the Titans side. So we got game times to report for next week. Jacksonville and New England will be Saturday night in Foxborough. San Diego, Indianapolis on Sunday. We'll have those for you on CBS. Of course, they all get started with the NFL today. Seattle will be at Green Bay, by the way, on Saturday afternoon on Fox. And the Giants and Cowboys late Sunday afternoon.
I don't know about you, it's the best weekend of the year.
You've always said it's your favorite weekend.
Because we get to work one of the games, I get to watch the other two. It is. It's just a lot of fun. It's usually comes down to the 8 best teams in the league.
The kneel down, they'll do it one more time. And then Norv Turner will have accomplished what he came here to do.
Well, that's when you say, hey, that's all it's about. You got to win playoff games. That's pretty tough because it's hard to win regular season games in this league. But it's a great moment for the San Diego Chargers. And, of course, look at Norv Turner letting it out finally. And everything he said, Jim, it came through today. It took them to the second half. You know, we were ready to second guess too, but the involvement of all the extra players and the play calling, that was the difference.
So the Chargers outscored Tennessee 17-0 in the second half, outgained them 257-70 in the second half, and they advance to the divisional round. Those two who go back so far. Norv was Jeff Fisher's position coach at USC. First as a receiver, Fisher came to the Trojans as a receiver, then he moved over to the defensive backfield, and Turner moved over to a DB coach later on too. Turner has the win. Chargers advance. Bill Sims and Jim Nance saying so long from San Diego. Chargers have won it. Subway postgame show is coming up as we continue on CBS.
Welcome back to our New York studios and the Subway postgame show. Coming up tonight on CBS, another edition of 60 Minutes. Roger Clemens goes one-on-one with Mike Wallace, an exclusive interview with all the tough questions about the steroid allegations. And in the victory won by San Diego now will move on to meet Indianapolis next weekend, while Jacksonville will be in Foxborough to take on the Patriots. On the NFC side, it'll be Seattle and Green Bay, while the Dallas Cowboys will take on the New York Giants. All right, folks, I'm James Brown saying thanks for watching the NFL on CBS. Have a great night from Dan and the guys.
Who owns the Dallas Cowboys?
Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones.